our esteemed partners, SportPesa, Tusker, CAC, 7's, Reality Media, Highlands, media representatives, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a few minutes to afternoon. I'd love to welcome you to the launch of Kabeberi 7's. This is the year 2024, yet 35th edition. That means we've had Kabeberi 7's for 34 years. I will take you down the history lane of Kabeberi 7's. This is in honor of the George Mwangi Kabeberi 7's, that is a person whom this tournament was started after. It is a highly anticipated annual rugby tournament, which is a premier event that marks the fourth leg of the 2024 National 7's Circuit. This year is the 35th edition. It is sponsored by SportPesa, and this event is also known as SportPesa 7's and is a key highlighting of the Kenya rugby calendar and experience. This year's tournament will take place at the RFUA grounds in Nairobi. Dates from the 23rd of August to the 25th of August. The key dates for those who would love to join us. On the 23rd of August, 10 a.m., that is in the morning, we'll have the age grade rugby. 4 p.m. on the very same date, the women's rugby will kick off right here at RFUA grounds. In the evening, we will have the vets rugby at Impala Club. On the 24th of August, which is on Saturday, we'll have the Division 1 and Division 2 matches kicking off. On 25th of August, that is Sunday, we have the climax of it all, where we have the finals and awarding ceremony. For us, the Kabeberi 7's is more than a tournament. It's a festival, it's an experience that we would love all of you to experience. And today, we will welcome the chairman of the Mwamba Club Rugby, Mr. Jason Braganza, for the opening remarks. He will delve into the history of Kabeberi 7's and the role that Kabeberi 7's plays in the Kenya rugby. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sullivan, for that very warm welcome. Good afternoon to our esteemed partners, friends, and supporters of Mwamba Rugby Club, and to the media fraternity for joining us here today to launch the 35th edition of the George Mwangi Memorial Kabeberi 7's. As has been mentioned, this tournament was launched several years ago, decades ago in fact, as a way of keeping alive the spirit of what Mwamba Rugby Club epitomizes in Kenya rugby. As many of you will know, the club was established over 40 years ago as the first black indigenous rugby club in Kenya, as a part of, and as a way of enabling black Kenyans to access the game of rugby, to which many of our superstars, upcoming talent, boys and girls, continue to enjoy. Mwamba RFC has been at the forefront of trailblazing different forms of the game, be it 7's, be it 15's, be it the women's version of the game, contributing to several numbers towards the national team and to the success of the game that we experience both at club and international level. Therefore, it is only fitting that the George Mwangi Kabeberi Memorial 7's brings us together to remember the hard-fought struggles, and particularly this year, when we've seen lots of strife, lots of struggle by young people trying to challenge authority, trying to challenge power, and that's what Mwamba stands for. That is what we've always been part of. That's what we bring to the table of the rugby fraternity. We don't just conform with what is laid out before us. We dare to push boundaries, and every year for the last 35 years that we've held the Kabeberi 7's, we have always attempted to do that. And this year will be no different. And so we are extremely excited to be hosting you here at the RFUA grounds and at the Impala grounds just across the garden here over the next 3 days from Friday to Sunday. We have a few surprises which I cannot divulge right now because we want it to be a surprise, as the word would suggest. And we do hope all those who are going to come out over the next 3 days will enjoy themselves. We have an array of talent coming through the Mwamba system. I know after this launch, there are going to be many questions about, what has gone on over the last few weeks. But there are lots of potential young players coming through the Mwamba system, and we're very excited. And of course, we could not have done it without the very deliberate and kind friendship, collaboration, and partnership of all our partners. SportPesa for continuing to support the National 7's circuit despite very difficult moments. But we are now, I think, at the end of that tunnel with the national team going to challenge in the main HSBC 7's. We have EABL through Tusker that have come in. We have CIC, Kenya Re, our kit and merchandise sponsor, Tesson. We have our KCB through their AO Imani Foundation that are also with us. And so we're very excited that and Highlands, who are going to be our hydration and carbonated drinks sponsor, a new entrant into the rugby space. And so we also hope that they will enjoy their experience with us over the weekend. And so with all this different support, we are very excited to welcome you to the Kabeberi 7's. And we look forward to a very exciting weekend. And hopefully this will be the kickstart that the club much needs into pursuing its ambitions in the remaining 3 legs of the National 7 circuit. So with those few remarks, I welcome you all, and I thank you very much for being with us here this afternoon. And we are very excited to host you over the next coming few days. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for the chairman. The mood has been set right, so we all have no reason to miss the Kabeberi 7's. Lots and lots of surprises. At this juncture, I welcome Mr. Thomas Odundo, who is the CEO of Kenya Rugby Union. He will highlight for us the role of Kabeberi 7's in the National 7 circuit and the KRU's support for the event. And when you meet me out there, you'll be wondering, who is this lady? My name is Sullivan, and I'm your MC and moderator for today. Thank you. A round of applause for Mr. Thomas Odundo.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to come here and be a part of this launch. Chairman Jason has said everything about Kabeberi 7, so I don't know what more I can add. Perhaps the only thing I can add is my own experience, my own personal experience. In that, I think the first 7's tournament I played was Kabeberi at Mwamba. I won't say when, but it might have been. it could have been the third or the fourth Kabeberi 7. So it holds a special place in my heart. I played as a schoolboy, and it was great fun. So when we talk about 35 years, I think that makes Kabeberi the second oldest 7's tournament in Kenya. There were a few more back then, which have fallen off the way, and as Chairman has said, I mean it's a tribute to Mwamba, their perseverance through hard times, through easy times. There's sometimes I know it's easy, but it never gets easier. Yeah, and that they've held this tournament continuously, except during I think the 2 years of COVID. Yeah, so a big thanks to Mwamba for taking that role, and as part of that role that they played in consistently holding the event, that's how the National 7 circuit was born. There were 3 or 4 clubs which held their own events at their own time during the year. In fact, there were very small events. We'd have them on a Sunday after playing a Kenya Cup game. Yeah, but once Kenya had an opportunity to play in the HSBC circuit, we felt it would be good to put the 7's events, which were then there, into a circuit, and the existing clubs there agreed to the idea. They came together, and the National 7 circuit was born. So big thanks to Mwamba and the other clubs. I can't talk about the 7th circuit without speaking about our title sponsor, SportPesa. It is because of SportPesa that at least we're sure that the circuit will go on. There are some certain levels of comfort, because as I've said, it's never easy. holding an event, a small event, big event. The national 7 circuit now has grown. When Kabeberi is there, we only had one division of maybe 10, 12 teams. Yeah, but now we've got 2 divisions, age grade and women. So it just keeps getting bigger and better. So a big thanks to SportPesa coming in as a title partner. In partnership with KRU, we do co-share some of the costs which are involved in the event, and we work very closely together. So I won't say too much, but that's all I have to say. So big thanks to Mwamba, and we're looking forward to the surprises. Yeah, so start the surprises at 9, so that those people who come at 12 miss out. Yeah, so that's just my rallying call to the fans. Let's be early, let's enjoy the rugby, and have a good weekend. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas Udundo. You may have an idea, you may have ideas, but then bringing them to life may be tough. And sometimes you may not bring those ideas to life. This year's 2024 Kabeberi 7's has been brought to life by our esteemed partners, Tusker, who are official pouring partner, CIC, official insurance partner, KCB, activation partner, Highlands, our hydration and carbonated drinks partner, Taste and Sports, kit and equipment partner, Reality Media, our streaming partner, and the Kenya Rugby Union. Right now, we're going to welcome a representative from the CIC group, Tyrus Kanja, who is the head of Operation CIC Life Assurance, official insurance partner. A round of applause for Tyrus Kanja.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, sponsors, the committee of Kabeberi 7's, media. It's an honor. It's an honor today for me to stand before you, representing CIC Insurance, to present or to encourage even our young team, our young generation that we have been told about, the Gen Z, so that they can also know there are different sports. They can also join and relieve themselves that pressure that is there. And again, to make sure that they also have a source of income. I'm very sure when we participate form of where we can be able to get some income. So here I am to just appreciate the Mwamba FC and also the Kabeberi 7 series. That CIC is with you as you walk. We'll be with you and we'll support you. I know this is the 4th time we are sponsoring this event, and we'll continue to partner with you. I know our boss is a member here, but I think even before he joined CIC was still working together with these tournaments. So we believe we'll continue and even maybe be better tomorrow. So just a welcome, and say that as CIC, we also like maybe as we play football, we also think of a risk that we can offload to the CIC, and also think of the protection that we can give even to your families. That's how we work, and that's how we encourage people to also understand what is all about insurance. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Questions about insurance, Kabeberi 7's is definitely the place for you to be. We'll have CIC here with us. From Tusker, we have Anthony Wasilwa, who's the area business manager in Nairobi. They are our official pouring partner. A round of applause for Anthony, please.
So, good afternoon, everybody. So on behalf of Kenya Breweries, I'd just like to announce the official sponsorship for the Kabeberi 7's to the tune of 3 million shillings. You know, rugby is not just a sport. So it's a celebration of our national resilience. And you know, Tusker embodies that spirit as Kenya. So we have a great weekend lined up for you. And you know, for the for the people coming this weekend, we have a great after party lined up, great talent coming through, and for me, it's just to extend heartfelt gratitude to the Mwamba RFC club for organizing this event. I've also been part of this event. I've played here quite a few times, so it stays true to my heart. So we encourage guys to come in large numbers for the 3-day tournament. And of course, as a brand, we encourage everyone to enjoy responsibly. We look forward to a very exciting weekend. Come at 9 o'clock. Let's not disappoint the chairman. Enjoy a great weekend of rugby. Thanks.
We have 3 days to pour our hearts out. We have 3 days with our pouring partner, Tusker. So looks like it's going to be such an amazing Kabeberi 7's this year, 2024. We have a representative from SportPesa, who are our official title sponsor, Willis Ojuang, Public Relations and Advertising Manager. A round of applause for him.
Good afternoon. Ojuang is my name, and thanks a lot for making it here. I think personally handling the circuit 3 years in a row, I've personally seen a lot of potential, a lot of growth from the 7's circuit coming off COVID. Kenyans and Nairobians and the fans had missed rugby, and I think, as has been articulated, is the place of partners is really helping to elevate the game. And thanks to our good friends at KBL, the game is not just on pitch, it's on pitch and off pitch. So, as has been alluded to by the chairman, the fan experience, I think, is key. And they're coming for the game, they're coming for the whole entire experience. I think on behalf of SportPesa and on behalf of our newest baby and brand in the ESG arm, dubbed to Giamini, loosely translated to Let's Believe in Ourselves. And our place in sports is a true manifestation of believing in ourselves. It's a true manifestation because our first year in the 7th circuit birthed a very new team, the current Shujaa squad, that went on, in fact, shortly before the culmination of the 7th circuit, into tackling Africa, being crowned the Africa 7's champions, booking their slot in the Olympics, and they've become a force to reckon with. I think that heightened activity in the past weekend at Dallas 7's, we saw the Olympians coming back, and for me it was a proud moment because it was an inspiration to all the clubs that yes, they're able to have and play in one stage with the Olympians, and that if truly they believe in themselves, if they truly were Giamini, then they can make it to the world stage as we get prepared to get into the HSBC series later this year. So I think for Nairobians, they can only get ready. Something I waited to hear from the chairman and the TD and the MC. I think there's one person in our staff that we always greet each other with, saying our family. So I think our family, I'm yet to know what our family is. Yes, do this saying our family Buddha. So yeah, we yet to get to the meaning of it. But yes, it's a family of like-minded partners. It's a family of great enthusiastic players. And guys, the quality of the game, take your time to watch. In fact, cross over to Div 2 of the 2 days. The quality of the game, the inspiration, the introduction of some of the assets, including the prize money, courtesy of SportPesa, is really going a long way in ensuring that the 7th circuit become what it used to be or even better. So I think on behalf of SportPesa, we are in this to stay. We are in this to make it better. We are holding the hands of the hosting clubs, not only the host clubs, but also, like you rightly said, the community clubs need to be where other established clubs are, and it can only take the hand of like-minded partners. So I pray for the day that we'll see, by us taking title partnership, an inspiration to all the other corporates that sport is where we need to be, and sport is not just only any other sport, but rugby as a sport is here, is a community. If you look at the age grade tournament, if you come here on Friday, then you'll actually see that it's actually right time to call out all the partners, as many partners as we can, to come and join us in growing and developing the game. So yes, thanks a lot on behalf of SportPesa, and enjoy Kabeberi 7's.
Esteemed partners, SportPesa, they're here to stay. For the rainy days, for the sunny days. At this juncture, I'd love to welcome CAC. It's a moment for the check presentation. So our esteemed partners, we will start with CAC, and we'll also have representatives from the Kabeberi 7's committee as they receive the check. Karibuni sana. Thank you so much, CAC. Next, we're going to have Taska. Karibuni sana. Whatever questions from our media representatives, friends and family of rugby that you have in regards to the launch and the 3-day tournament of Kabeberi 7's. I welcome you all.
Okay, thank you very much, Sullivan. Yes, we're here. We're happy to answer some questions right now with regards to the tournament, the club, any other social, political issues you want us to also address. We're happy to do. Yes, please. If you could just tell us your name and the house represents, please.
Yeah, I don't think you're the right person to answer it, but since you're representing one, I think it's okay you're there. The team have performed very well so far in Sunday. For a club which has a very rich history and tradition of doing very well in sevens and produced some of the country's best players in the last 10, 15, 20 years. Is there a transition happening in the team? What will be the target for the team for this weekend?
Sure, William, thank you very much. Yes, I suspect there'll be many questions around this area of topic with regard to the team's performance and the club's rich history. I think like most clubs, like most periods, there are peaks and troughs. And if some of them are not sustained or managed in the right way, they can be prolonged. And I think as most of us know that Mwamba is a community club, right? So we rely on the kinds of partnerships that we've discussed here today. That, you know, over a long period of time, we rely on those because they're a way of attracting players to the club. They're a way of keeping players at the club and exposing them to the highest levels of the game. in the absence of some of these partnerships, resources do become very constrained, and trying to attract players, trying to retain players becomes a big challenge. I think none of us are strangers to some of the more recent challenges the club has faced, particularly losing its home ground at Nairobi Railway Club, and we've sort of been nomads for the last couple of years. But things are beginning to settle. I remember the same time last year when our current president, George Bai, spoke about transitions. And I think this is still part of the journey that we're on. We've seen a significant crop of players decide to do and pursue other interests outside of rugby because they've dedicated over a decade and a half of their time to the club and to the cause. So we are in that moment. The performances have not been to what many in the public would expect. But I think there were two things that we entered the circuit with as our objectives. Number one was to avoid being relegated week in, week out, and having to seek invitations to subsequent tournaments. And number two, definitely avoid having to invite ourselves to our own tournament. We've managed with the second objective, following our performance in Kisumu last weekend. And on a more serious note, I think that is also an indication that the team is growing into the circuit. These are painful moments, of course, for those who are very hardcore supporters and followers of the club. But we do hope that it's one of those troughs that we're slowly going to come out of with these types of partnerships and with the continued support of the broader rugby fraternity in getting us out of this. Thank you. Yeah, so it's baby steps. Thank you, Omondi. It's baby steps towards each of these things. The starting point is the foundation, which is to have a consistent training ground, which we have managed to secure, and we are extremely grateful that we've entered into a partnership with Upper Hill Secondary School, and we are now doing our training there, which offers consistent grounds for our players to come and do their training. It also offers us an opportunity to partner with a secondary school that is actually also excelling in the game of rugby presently. So we have that. There are a few ideas and proposals that we have submitted in terms of securing a home venue. I mentioned the goodwill that exists in the rugby fraternity, and here I would like to also pay tribute to Kenya Harlequin for having, also offered us their grounds last year during Kenya Cup, and it's something that we want to continue doing in the interim, because again, that gives us consistency. It gives the players an ability to know where our home games are likely to be played week in, week out during the season. But beyond that, there are plans for us to secure our own home ground. It takes time with the current economic climate in the country. Getting resources to support that endeavor is not always that easy. But there are plans underway to try and get us our own home ground.
Thank you so much. The fixtures, the polls are out. Please visit Mwamba Rugby on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And we'll also release during the tournament day, the street tournament day, we'll have like a hashtag for that day for the tournament. Sawa sawa? So you're all invited to do that. I'll still welcome Mr. Brayson for the closing remarks. I think we've all been set in the right mood what to expect and what kind of tournament this year 2024 Kabeberi's 7's will be like. So Mr. Brayson, karibu sana.
Combined my first and second name.
Sorry, Jason. Brayson.
Braganza and Jason. Okay, thank you very much, Sullivan. Let me, as we begin to close, let me first again emphasize a huge thanks to, first and foremost, the title sponsor, SportPesa, for continuing to support not just the George Mwangi Memorial Kabeberi 7's, but the National 7's circuit. It's an important partnership that will continue to grow the talent in this country. I want to expressly thank CIC, EABL through Tusker, Reality Media, Highlands, Tesson, KCB, and all our other partners for continuing to trust and place their faith in Mwamba RFC in delivering a successful tournament, but also delivering talent to the rugby community. But it would also be extremely bereft of me to not acknowledge also the extreme hard work behind the scenes that have gone on to make sure that the tournament this weekend is a success. And I want to begin by, there are many names to acknowledge, but I will acknowledge just a few, and I hope it's not a slight on the others that I may not mention. It's not out of any particular reason, but first and foremost, our tournament director, Mr. Michael Mwanja, who has been working tirelessly to get us to have a successful tournament with all these wonderful surprises that start at 9 o'clock on a Saturday. I don't know who's going to be up at that time, but we will try our best to make sure. Our communications director, Mr. Collins Nabiswa, who has also organized this press briefing and launch. Ms. Jennifer Githei, who's our women's director of rugby at Mwamba, and also our representative here at the Kenya Rugby Union. There's our immediate former president, Mr. Alvas Wanguru, our current president, Mr. John Jubai, and my fellow executive committee members, Mr. Gilbert Nyangor, who's the club secretary, and Mr. Meshak Miogo, who's the club treasurer. So there are many other names that are involved in delivering this tournament, but to the committee that is being chaired and led by Mr. Mwanja here, an extreme thanks and gratitude for that. And again, we look forward to having all of you and hosting all of you here this weekend. And please come in your numbers. We're going to do our best to make it a great one before the second break, before we go to the last two. Thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure hosting you here today. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Chairman. On my end is to